Howdy friends, and welcome back to Toy Box Nostalgia. I'm Douglas, and in this video we're going to be unboxing and reviewing and taking a very close look at the absolute brand new 2024 Mattel He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection, Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack. This is gorgeous, this is amazing, this is huge. Who else was waiting so long for this? Their whole lives, right? If you're new to Toy Box Nostalgia, you'd love to see more content like this show up into your YouTube newsfeed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It truly helps out the channel, and thank you so much to everyone that's subscribed. It means the world to me. If you're a fan of the cartoon collection, or Prince Adam and Cringer, or if you just got the nostalgic feels from the art and the presentation, the beauty that came with this masterpiece, please give me a thumbs up. I'd love you so much forever for it, and drop a comment below letting me know, do you have this set? If you do, did you take any toy photographs of it? I'd love to see them. For some reason we can't post links lately, so maybe you could just DM them to me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. Give me about 10 seconds to set up the lighting and stuff, and I'm gonna catch you after this quick break. Okay, my friends, this is a moment that I have been waiting for I don't know, 40 years. 44, I'm what, 44 years old? Look at this thing. This is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen Mattel create, ever. And it hits every single feel for me. I don't know what it is. I do have one gripe with it though, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. But it's the only criticism that I have. I feel like there's just one piece that's missing from this. I don't know if you could tell or not. Take a look inside there. You see something missing? We'll find out here in a second. Let's take a look at this beautiful, absolutely beautiful, like, I don't know, work of art packaging. This is a deluxe action figure. Obviously, we actually get a fully articulated Cringer. Take a look at this artwork up here. This is absolutely stunning. We have Prince Adam right here and Cringer here, and they are high gloss. The Masters of the Universe is high gloss, but none of the other folks are in the background. As we see there, we have Skeletor, and we have Triclops, we have Evil Lyn. None of this other stuff is high gloss, just what matters in this box. All of those beautiful, vibrant colors that we would see as children in the background of the show just stand out absolute brilliantly. I love it. So we have this massive window that actually comes up to the top, and it showcases everything in here. And we have a beautiful cartoon collection sticker, clear here on the actual window. Says 80s Adventures here. Flipping over to the left side, we can see Hordak's imp right there, or the imp that we associate with Hordak. So that's definitely a teaser. We're definitely going to get a Hordak and an imp inside of a deluxe box like this, no doubt. Over here, we have even more. This is... I don't know. The Princess of Power stuff is going to be amazing in this form, in the cartoon collection form. I'm just super excited for it. So the back is an absolute poster of Castle Grayskull and Prince Adam telling everyone in the universe that he has the power. It says He-Man, the Master of the Universe, but it is in fact interrupted by the lightning and the electricity and the energy that's coming off of that power sword. Fantastic. This is like straight from an absolute beautiful comic book cover. We have Cringer cowling in the background, and then, you know, just the trap jaw of Castle Grayskull they're standing on. This is perfect. The sky is just galaxy, just absolute beauty to me. We do see Zor up here. I'm hoping that this is definitely going to be coming to the cartoon collection with the Sorceress. That would be fantastic. Down here at the bottom left, empowering the next generation through play. So on the side, we have Prince Adam and Cringer. Says the same thing over here, He-Man, the Masters of the Universe on both sides. The bottom of the box has all of this information here. I will zoom in here on the barcode in case you need it. Let's open this up. We need to see what's inside and what's not inside. Opening up this flap right here. Take a look at that. We have some really nice artwork here. He can obviously hold his sword, but it looks like we do have a hinge that goes into the top of the wrist. So he can perform this type of action right here. Then we have his two different heads that we could swap out. Neither of these really look like the actual heads that you get, thankfully, because those don't really look like they're from the cartoon. Then we have Cringer's heads right here. We get two heads with Cringer. One has his tooth sticking out of the right side of his face, and the other is an open mouth expression. Both look a little bit fearful. This one looks a little calmer. So here it is, my friends. Take a look at this massive bubble. This is everything that you get in the package. The background is just like a sky blue color. And down there at the bottom says 2023 Mattel. And it's just regular cardboard. Here's everything inside of the bubble that we get. We do in fact get the action figure, we get an extra head, we get a sword, we get the Cringer action figure, and an extra head. So what's missing from this? What would have absolutely rounded this whole presentation off? A comic book, right? A mini comic book. Imagine if it came with a mini comic book that just showed how Prince Adam found Cringer, whenever he was exploring in the forest. And I feel like when you're opening these action figures, it's just expected that you get one of those. So that's like my only gripe, really. Let's go ahead and take all of the bands off and get everything out. So here it is, my friends. Here's everything you get in that bubble. Let's start off by taking a close look at action figure details. And let's start with Cringer. I could see right off the bat, we do have a lot of articulation. The paint application is beautiful. It's super vibrant, very cartoon looking expression on Cringer's face. Look at his tooth, his nose. To me, this is a perfect representation of what Cringer looked like in the cartoon. Maybe the colors don't really match 100%, but that seems to be the theme here with the cartoon collection. And to me, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I think this is perfect, the way this looks. His tail's made out of like a very rigid rubber maybe, or maybe a soft plastic. The whole thing is a flat finish. I feel like except for like his neck does have paint on it, like just perfect. Absolutely stunning. We have lots of points of articulation. Look at Cringer's paws. Just look at those paws. How is that not perfect? We do have some fur, it looks like, sculpted in down here at the bottom. It's just kind of a little bit shaggy down here at the bottom. Obviously, we have some up here on the lower of his jaw, close to his neck. And then we have some fur sculpted, obviously, in the face, but it's still very cartoon looking. It doesn't look very hyper-realistic or realistic at all, really. So it's perfect to me. Just absolutely. Oh, there's more fur sculpting right here. Oh man, he's absolutely adorable, and that's perfect. Here's Cringer's other head. This one has an fully articulated bottom jaw, and I think that's awesome. We have a glossy, inside of his mouth is a glossy red. That totally makes sense. His teeth kind of touch. So you can't really close it all the way. But that's okay. He does come with this one with a closed expression with the tooth hanging out, which is awesome. Maybe they should have made like his top right tooth here a little bit bigger to match that head, but take a look at he looks scared. Like, I don't know. Maybe he looks scared. Maybe he just looks, that's just how he just always looks. He's a real Cringer, as Tila said, right? Inside of his ears is painted black. And yeah, this is the connector. It's like a Masters of the Universe Origins connector, so we could probably get it. Well, not really. We can't really put this onto here, though the ball peg definitely would fit, just because of the huge cheeks right here. He almost has like huge jowls, and they don't, you can't get it down past the shoulders, unfortunately. To swap the head here, all you do is just take this part off right here and then just put on the new head with the articulating mouth. There we go, just like that. Yeah, just pops right on there. Very cool. I really love the design here. I love they must have really referenced the cartoon a lot, who must have referenced actual animals, because this, You know, this looks really good to me. Like, this looks fantastic. And I think it's because of how much I love animals. Like, I just, it's so cool to have, like, you know, a nice, you know, animal to add to your cartoon collection, right? Taking a look at Prince Adam himself, this looks like the He-Man head right here. We've already opened up the cartoon collection style He-Man on this channel, and this head looks identical. Look at the paint application. Look at that. So this doesn't look like the Origins Prince Adam to me at all. That had a much darker, glossy, the vest. There was a lot more details. Like I feel like there was a square piece around here. He definitely doesn't have the large semi-spheres in like the gauntlets. Like this just looks like typical armbands to me, or some sort of bracelet almost. And his hands look completely different. Obviously, this is going to be the cartoon collection sculpting that we're going to see. That's a lot less bulkier. And luckily, thankfully, that Mattel decided to make these action figures stand straight up. So we do have a little bit of curvature in the leg, but that's due to the muscular nature of the leg. But as you see it from the front here, it's pretty much straight up and down. So these action figures are a little taller than the Origins action figures. This is awesome. So his vest is made out of like a rigid rubber. The paint application is really good on it. Not absolutely perfect as we see there, but still, I mean, this is a toy, right? His shirt on the inside, all of this white right here is just painted right onto the sculpt on there. Flipping over to the back, you can see that there's some wrinkles right here where the belt comes around the waist, and that just looks awesome. He does have the purple loincloth underneath, the really, really desaturated light purple pants, and then we have the typical He-Man boots right here. Just looks awesome. Absolutely awesome. They are a dark purple that match the loincloth, and then we have the white that matches the undershirt that Prince Adam is wearing. So this is awesome. Take a look at this hand. These fingers are huge on this hand. They don't really look like a typical Origins hand, gripping hand especially. And this is the one, as we see here, the hinge is in the top of the wrist. That's just like, I feel like they put a lot of attention to detail in the actual hand itself and just made it perfect. Like, those look like cartoon fingers to me. This one does too. This is an open hand. This is nice to have an open hand, as we see here. It's got some veins sculpted in it, but not too realistic. The hinge does go into the palm. Take a look at the detail in the neck right there. It's just, you know, kind of like how it would look like in a cartoon. It's not hyper realistic whatsoever. And then this head right here, this was I was kind of most excited about, to get another expression for He-Man, because you can obviously put, you know, either head on either He-Man or Prince Adam, and this one's going to look really good, I feel like, on the actual He-Man cartoon collection body. That, like, the hair sculpt kind of looks exactly the same to me. Yeah, dead on. It's just a different expression. He does have sunken in cheeks, as we see there. I don't know if you can see in the lighting. I'll put some shadow right there, as you see right there. So you can see the defined cheekbones and, you know, the lines around the mouth. Just awesome. So let's see if we can remove the vest. I'm not sure if we can or not. Oh, we can. Take a look at that. So this just opens up just right here. And then to get this off, we probably have to remove some body parts. So this is what he looks like without his vest on, and he's waving hi to you all, telling you to please subscribe. Very, very cool. I like this. I like the fact that he's just wearing like some sort of Under Armour shirt, or like skin tight, maybe one of those UV shirts to protect him from the sun in Eternia. I don't know, but the sculpt looks just like it did on the original He-Man from the cartoon collection. All of it does. The arms, the body. It absolutely, like the torso, absolutely does. I think he looks pretty good without the vest on also. It doesn't look half bad. The vest itself is like, as I mentioned before, it's like this rubber, very soft, maybe soft vinyl or something. It has a really strange connector in it though. See this? It's got like this large piece that's carved out right there that this goes into, it snaps into, but it also has a peg right here. And it's got a peg hole right there inside of the buckle of the belt that goes around the vest. So snapping this in place is super easy. It just kind of connects just like that. As you can see inside there, it's got like the vest has a really nice collar right here to it. Looks like very early 80s to me. Reminds me a lot of the early 80s when I was a kid. A lot of shirts look like this. This is beautiful. Like, this is absolutely beautiful. I love this. I love that. Okay, so next up is articulation. My friends, we've already seen all of the articulation from the He-Man, the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection He-Man action figure that we already opened up here. But the head is on a ball joint. You can look down a little bit, look up a little bit. A small amount of tilt. His hair's going to hit his vest here, as you see. So it's going to make a connection to, like, inhibit the tilting. But that's okay. He's all right. So you get a good amount of movement. You could swivel, obviously, because of the ball joint. Down here at the shoulder, we do have a peg. And Masters of the Universe Origins peg that's going to point down towards the pelvis. So when you put this in, you don't put it in straight. You actually point the peg downwards. Because it's on a peg, it can swivel all around. And because this is a softer rubber, it doesn't really inhibit that movement here, as you can see. The hinge moves out, so you can move the arm in many different directions. We do not get a bicep cut. And down here at the elbow, we have a swivel and a hinge, and then obviously the hands are going to be on Masters of the Universe Origins pegs, so that's cool. The hinge on his left hand is going into the palm, as we saw before, and then the hinge on his right hand, the sword-holding hand, is going to be in the top of the wrist. So that is the difference. That is a very big difference. It's a very big deal, actually, if you want to do that iconic pose where he's holding the power sword up into the air. Moving down to the pelvis, we do have a long peg with two balls on the end of it that connect to the legs, so we get a good amount of articulation there. We do not have a ab crunch cut right here, unfortunately, so if you want to get a good kicking pose, he's going to be leaning back quite a lot, but that's okay. I don't remember him doing very large karate-style kicking. Down here at the knee, we do swivel at the knee, thankfully, and we have a hinge at the knee. As we see right there, it's kind of like I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like it's a ball inside there. I've never taken one of these completely apart or not, but what's cool about this is there's a massive cut right there in the back of his thigh. So his calf can actually go into that cut. So you get actually more articulation than you would without that. Moving down to the foot, we do have a boot cut because we can, in fact, replace these if we want. Masters of the Universe Origins peg style. Very cool. There's an L for left. Snap that on. Down here at the foot, we swivel at the foot, but it's not going to be a perfect swivel. It's going to be that rocker style swivel. And then we also have a hinge. So that is all of the articulation for Prince Adam. Let's move on to Cringer. Let's take a look at Cringer's articulation, my friends. So we start at the head. So his head's going to be on a ball joint, as we saw before. We can take that off. Now, the neck, the ball joint doesn't stick at the joystick piece, I like to call it, because it does, in fact, fully move like a joystick in all directions without gate. But this part is so, I guess it's so thick or so large, or maybe the stem is so small that you can't really put, someone else's head on there. Like, that makes a connection. That looks really strange, but that made a connection, but at the same time, it didn't pop into there. Like, I can feel it, like, kind of going in, but not actually popping onto the ball. I'm going to place the other head back on. Moving down to the neck. Actually, I'll take this off so we can see this easier. The neck does swivel, and it does move. And it's shaped like this on purpose so that you can get different poses. Like, for instance, if you want him to do his famous Cringer poses, or like play like a cat, right? You could definitely do that. It's very cool. Like, this articulation on this guy is, I don't even know what to call it anymore. Just straight up Mattel, like really awesome, right? Like, he's playing like a cat, right? Look at him. Very cool. But you can also turn this around because it's curved, and you could get him to, just do this, where he's like, jumping up onto Prince Adam, So that's definitely done on purpose, I feel like. Moving down to the arms, I don't think these arms come out. Yeah, definitely don't come out. So there's probably not a peg inside there, but we get a swivel, and there's definitely a little bit of a hinge. Maybe it is a ball joint inside there, but it's it doesn't move out very far. you know, you can't really splay his legs, essentially. But moving down here, we do have a swivel at the, I guess, his elbow, and then we have a hinge. So you get good articulation there. We can swivel at the foot, and we have the hinge at the foot, and you know, the swivel's kind of like a rocker. So as you see there, it's kind of tilting the bottom of the foot on the axis, which is awesome. This is the first Origins action figure I've ever seen with an ab crunch, which is cool because this is an animal and he's going to be very dynamic, you know, as far as posing for display or toy photography, right? So this moves a lot. This is definitely on a ball joint inside there, and you can spin it all the way around if you want, break his back. But, you know, that's a lot of articulation so far. Moving down to the hips, we do have, it's like a ratchet almost. As far as the swivel goes, and you can't really splay these legs either, but they do come out a little bit, just enough for the articulation. Moving down to the knee, we do have a swivel at the knee, and we have a hinge. You can definitely see the hinge there. Very cool. And the swivel. And then we have another piece right here, this extension piece right here, which has two hinges inside of it. So you can swivel at that piece also and hinge, and then down at the foot, the actual back foot. I always thought it was kind of strange that his back feet were just the same as his front feet, but that's just the way he was designed. You know, obviously none of this stuff is from planet Earth, so of course it's gonna be all brand new and kind of alien, right? But down here we do have the same, you know, articulation as we did in the front. Essentially, we have the hinge, and then we have the rocker / swivel. Very cool. Finally, the tail. The tail does go, it definitely is on a peg, I feel like, so you can move it all the way around. And then if you take a look inside there, you can see that there's definitely a hinge, so they can in fact move up and down. So you could get him to put his tail between his legs, you know? Awesome. Finally, the power sword. So we get a very shiny power sword. It looks good. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks really good. I kind of wish the blade were a little more slender and maybe a tad bit longer. Maybe this piece not as broad right here, but this looks like it's made out of steel. This is the way they painted this. Actually, it's not even, I don't even think it's painted. Yeah, you don't see any paint cracking. I'm pretty sure it's just cast in plastic that just looks like steel. Take a look at that side shot. Whoops. You can like see how thick the ornate part of the sword is just above the handle. That's really cool. And then we have this piece down here. It just, you know, the butt end of the handle, just, it looks like steel. I love it. So for reference, here is the Prince Adam sword that came with the Masters of the Universe Classics Club Grayskull version of Prince Adam. And you can see how much longer this is compared to this. Obviously, the action figures aren't the same size, but this just looks very stout looking to me, like compared to this one. And we could take a look at the details there. There are definitely differences just because this one looks like it's more stretched. This part of the sword, truly, I feel like that looks more like the cartoon than the one from the cartoon collection. Speaking of classics, here's what he looked like from Masters of the Universe Classics. I've had this action figure for a while. This was on sale at Big Bad Toy Store up until like maybe like a month or two ago. Maybe you could still buy it on there, I'm not sure. But take a look at the differences here. Let me put the other head on. So if we take a look at these two and compare these two together, one's just simply taller. They both look very similar. This one does in fact have that bicep cut, which sometimes is a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. I noticed on my Thundercats Ultimates action figures, especially Lion-O, I feel like this gap is huge and it looks really bad. I don't I don't know what happened there. Maybe I don't know, maybe it was mine was a manufacturing defect, but that's really the biggest difference between the two. He doesn't have like any type of additional articulation, I feel like, besides the he definitely has a waist cut, as you see in there from the classics version, so he does have an ab crunch, but I've never gotten it to work before for display or toy photography. So to me, it just doesn't exist. I don't think that you can take this off. I honestly don't. I've never tried before. You can't really remove the arms or anything. So it's just not as fun, you know, the cards. Plus, look at the faces. They look very similar, but this one just looks too realistic to me from Classics. This one looks like, this is what he looked like in the cartoon to my eye when I compare these two. The heads are roughly the same size, but the bodies obviously aren't. We can see there's definitely a height difference there, which actually makes sense. Whenever you're proportioning large bodies, you know, you always keep the head kind of the same size if it's like a human, I guess. But yeah, I never really liked this action figure as much as some of the other action figures from Club Grayskull, just because I don't know, something was just off about it. I don't know what it is. I think it's the expression on the head sculpts that came with the Club Grayskull version. Okay, so the very last thing I wanted to show you, the reason why I brought out the Classics version, the Club Grayskull version, is because this sword, you know, this effect can actually fit on the Cartoon Collection sword. And this is the one that I have on display, and I have it on, you probably saw it in the background of some of my other videos I released recently, but this is how I have them on display, and I think this looks fantastic. Honestly, I'm just thrilled that this exists. Mostly for this guy. This guy hits all the feels. He's absolutely cute as hell, and I can't wait to get really good cartoon style images with Cringer and Prince Adam and the other heroic warriors from the Cartoon Collection. That's awesome to me. I think that's absolutely awesome. This just this is great. I don't know what it is, you know, animals are my favorite aspect of like living on this planet, I feel like, besides art. This is awesome. This is a combination of both. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed the Toy Box Nostalgia unboxing and review and very close look at the Prince Adam and Cringer Deluxe set from Mattel's Cartoon Collection, as much as I have just unboxing it and sharing this experience with you. Saturday is Babette's birthday. She's going to be 9 years old, and I dedicate this video to her. She loves Cringer, and we're definitely going to be playing characters. Well, that's it, my friends. Thank you so much again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and remember, collect and shoot.
Bring on the waves, bring on the day. Now I got you in front of me. Kisses or blaze, touches or waves with the hands on.